Hello and welcome. This is Manu Mishra. You are watching Flufful Feelings. Thank you very much for stopping by. And without further ado, I'm going to jump straight into the topic. As you've read from the title, from the thumbnail, we're going to talk about Formula One 2024, but not just this season. The things are going to happen this season, as per my view, but also for the seasons to come, and what is going to happen on the grid, off the grid, in the forthcoming years, especially before 2026, when the new engine regulations apply. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Starting off with Red Bull. The 2023 Challenger was one of the most lethal weapons in all of sport I've ever seen. It's not something that you can repeat every year, even if you're Red Bull who made that ever dominant car. You do not win all but one race in a season where there was hope of challenges happening. Ferrari coming, McLaren coming in, or maybe an Aston Martin on the trot, maybe Mercedes getting their glory back. But none of that happened. Max Verstappen, 19 out of 23 races. And that was just wow. But I don't think this is going to happen this time around. Max Verstappen is going to win the World's Driver Championship, and Red Bull is going to win the World's Constructor Championship. No doubt about that. But they're not going to give everybody a belting of 25 to 30 second lead belting. It's going to be close because Ferrari and McLaren, I think, have caught up. So what's going to happen? Max Verstappen is going to finish on first. Then there is Charles Leclerc from Ferrari, and why it will happen, I'll tell you when I'll talk about Ferrari later. Then there is Lando Norris from McLaren, Carlos Sainz from Ferrari, and Oscar Piastri from McLaren. So this is my top 5. Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, then there is Lando Norris, Carlos Sainz, and Oscar Piastri for the top 5 of the Drivers' Championship. The top 3 of the constructors would be Red Bull, Ferrari, and McLaren in that order. So why would that happen? I'll get back to it. Moving on from Red Bull to Ferrari. What happened last month was the biggest news of all. Lewis Hamilton, the 7-time world champion, the man with most race wins in the Formula One history, is going to race for the prancing horse from 2025. Now, that's not important. It is, but not as important as the next point, that he is joining Ferrari. And this decision was made before he spent a minute behind the W15, the 2024 Challenger. Maybe because he's given up on the project, or he doesn't feel as valued, or he is not as indispensable as he thought he would be in the team that he bought 6 consecutive world championships, or rather 6 world championships for them. Now, why does this happen? And what it makes Carlos Sainz do? Remember, Carlos Sainz was the only driver who was not from Red Bull to win a race in 2023. What is going to happen to him? Because this is the man that has tried to make everything work at Ferrari, maybe win a couple of races, maybe get to that elusive world championship podium that so many great drivers in the past have tried. Be it Sebastian Vettel, Fernando Alonso, Kimi Räikkönen when he came back after his Lotus stint. Nobody could do that. But that's not the case. I think Carlos Sainz is going to go for the Sauber team, that is Stake Sauber F1 for 2024. I think 2025 is the season where Valtteri Bottas gives up his racing ambition, enjoys being remembered as a wingman for Lewis Hamilton when he was at Mercedes, and the Sauber really gets in Carlos Sainz for their Audi 2026 project, or even an Andretti Cadillac project for 2026, powered by maybe a General Motors engine, but most likely an Audi engine. So this is done, and Charles Leclerc is the man who is going to be the poster boy for Ferrari. He's not going to give up his spot easily, even if it's for the 7-time world champion, Lewis Hamilton. So he's going to give everything he's got. He knows that he's not going to beat the Red Bull, but he's going to be breathing down their necks, leaving Checo Perez in the wilderness. And that's why I've not kept him in the top 5, because Max Verstappen is a different animal. You're not beating him. Not even if you're Checo Perez, who's a very good driver, but he's not Max Verstappen, so he's not beating him. He's not keeping his seat. Daniel Ricciardo will be placed in for Checo Perez in 2025 in that Red Bull. And that's why I believe Charles Leclerc will finish top 2. Moving on to top 3, Lando Norris. Lando Norris has signed a multi-year extension at McLaren even before Oscar Piastri came in. But that was because he thought he was the main man. Is he going to be the main man come 2025? I don't think so. And if he doesn't win a race and Oscar Piastri somehow wins a race in 2024, this is going to be game over. So he's got to give everything he's got. He's going to push it hard enough to get that win, elusive win. He's been racing for about 6-7 years, I guess, and he hasn't had a single race win. Oscar Piastri had, even though it was a sprint. So he's going to go there, give everything he's got, and try to finish on the podium and put McLaren on the podium for the World's Constructors' Championship. Moving on to fourth, Carlos Sainz, as I told you, is the man he's going to fight for his life and going to show Ferrari that it was the wrong decision to replace him. So there goes my 4 predictions. Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, there is Lando Norris, and then there is Carlos Sainz. And at 5th is a driver who's going to be hungry, going to prove that he's belonging in the Formula 1 circuit, and that is Oscar Piastri. Loved his driving style. He's a very calm person, somebody who's as cool as a cucumber, doesn't really give in to pressure, doesn't throw in the towel, just stays calm, enjoys his driving, and does the job. As for the constructors, well, we're not going to talk about Red Bull, so let's move on to Ferrari. Ferrari had done some catching up even throughout the late of the season. They were left bewildered because they were not good enough with the strategy, and Mercedes was simply better. This time around, they're going to do some patchwork. They're going to go to the drawing board and do all that catching up to come second in the World's Constructors' Championship. McLaren is being ignored by people because they think the late, trot of McLaren having great results, in a row is not going to happen this early in the season, but I think it will. And as long as they are continuous and consistent in those upgrades and performances, they're going to end up in 3rd for the World's Constructors' Championship. What's going to happen in 2025? Carlos Sainz is moving to Sauber. Daniel Ricciardo is going to move to Red Bull. Sergio Perez might finish his Formula 1 career. Haas might find themselves diluted, and Andretti and Cadillac might come in. And before the 2026 season hits, new engine regulations happen. There's going to be a change where I don't think Red Bull will be as dominant as they are now. That's it for today. I hope you liked the video. It's been a bit informative, a bit more generalized. So I hope you like this kind of video. If you want to see more such content, please do the needy. And I'll see you the next time around. Take care. Cheers.